it's the next morning and the pot is nice and cool. I just uncovered it. I haven't done anything else, but immediately I noticed that it has globs in it of the soap. So I know that we're not ready. And as you can see the globs down in there. So therefore I know it's not diluted enough. It's going to take some more dilution. So what I want you to see is how thick it is. It's really, really thick. But there are globs still in it. There's a glob of the soap paste there. That's just going to have to be diluted a little more. Now I don't want to dilute it so much that it is runny. But like I said, I can just see the globs in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this slow today. I'm not really going to spend a whole lot of time with it. But I'm only going to add a little bit of water at a time, and then I'm going to walk off and I'm going to leave it alone, and then keep checking on it throughout the day today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back on low so that I can get the pot nice and warm. I went ahead and had this still on the table, so I pulled it back out. I did go ahead and run some hot water so I would have everything ready for you. I'm going to tear out the pitcher, and I'm going to kind of just see how much water I think. I don't want to add, like I said, too much. I'm going to try 6. Ounces, perfect. 6 ounces of water, and just kind of see how much that is. Now, what I'm going to do is, being that this is the first time I've ever made it, and it might be something that I really, really love, I'm going to take really good notes about how much water I add. That way, if I decide to make it again, then I don't have to keep adding water. I will know, if I added, 36 ounces of water all total, then I will know just to go ahead and add that up front, and I won't keep guessing and trying to figure out. And that was 6. I think I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more, which will be 8. Way too much. Not way too much, but alright, that's actually perfect. 2 ounces. And that's not a lot more, but I'm going to go ahead and do 8. And then if I have to add again, I think I'll add 8 again. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. That to begin with, I added 1 pound, 12.91 ounces. And then I'm going to put added 8 more ounces of H2O or water. Okay, so give it a stir. And you don't really even have to give it a stir. When it starts heating up, it's going to start working it. But I'm telling you, I'm liking the consistency of this already, because I'm getting a nice thick liquid soap, which is really what I want. So I'm going to put that back down in there, cover it up, and I'm not really going to cover it as much as I did before. I'm just going to put this on it so I can let it get nice and warm. And once it gets warm, I will just take this off, because I don't want the towel sitting on it when the crock pot's on. But I do have the crock pot on low. It is starting to get warm already, and I'll probably let it sit for probably 2 hours, and then I'll come back and check it. I won't keep coming back and back, even though it's tempting. It just makes it take a long time, and there are other things you could be doing while you just let that kind of do its thing. So I'm going to let it sit for about 2 hours or so, and I will bring you back. Okay, I just opened up the soap, and I actually let it get a little hot, too hot, hotter than I like to let it get. But here's the soap on the bottom. Now, as it cools, because this is really hot, it's going to be, the consistency is going to be different than a cooled soap. So when this is cool, it'll be nice and thick. But if you notice on the top here, when you see, I hope you can see that, it's got clumps of paste. It's still not dissolved. So I'm going to have to add some more water. And because I let it get so hot, I probably evaporated out a bunch of, not a bunch, but some of the water. But anyway, it's not the consistency that I need. So I'm going to measure out some water, and I've already started something else. Where is that? Alright, so I'm going to take my scale. Got too many projects going on. This liquid soap that I made originally was just going to be Lard liquid soap, because I wanted to see how I liked it. And then I kind of started modifying, and I added a little castor oil, 1 ounce, a little coconut oil, and then I added kombucha tea. So, what I've decided to do is I also want to go ahead and just do a plain Lard liquid soap, because I want to see how that turns out as just experiment. These are just experiments to see what I like. They'll work great for shower, you know, for bathing, so it's not like it's wasted soap. But so I am going to go ahead and start on that as soon as I get this back in the pot, and I'm going to start on that video of just plain Lard liquid soap. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add, that's a little over 9. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 16 ounces. Because like I said, I probably evaporated a good at least 2 ounces of water, probably even 4. So I will make a note of that in my notes so that I will know that, okay, that's 16 ounces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm scared to put that much. I think I'm going to go with 8. Sorry. I just don't want to get it too thin, and then I end up having to try to evaporate water out. I really don't want to have to do that. Alright, so that's 8 ounces. 8 ounces of water. Go ahead and pour that in. And like I said, this is usually just, especially when you're starting out with a recipe, it's trial and error. You have to kind of figure it out. And what I will tell you, the reason it got so hot is normally when I'm heating up my pot, I would just put a towel on top of it until the pot gets really nice and hot. It kind of just helps it heat up quicker. Well, I had the pot on low, but when I went to town, I left the towel on the top. And the towel holds in a lot of moisture. A lot of heat, I mean. So that kind of held it, and it made it a lot hotter than what I really wanted. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do the full 16. Because it's looking really, really thick. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. That I'm adding plus 16 more ounces. And I'm going to put on here really hot evaporated some. And I know you're going to get evaporation anyway. To some degree, but not to the point that mine was like boiling. You don't really want it to sit and boil. So, got those little, and you can see the globs better now. Those are little globs of soap. So what I'm going to do is just leave it on low. Put it back on low. I turned it off real quick when I came in and realized that I had left the towel on the top of the lid. Okay? I'm going to pump those little globs off. And then I'm going to let this sit for just a couple more hours. I might check it in an hour. We'll kind of wait and see, but I'm going to let it sit, and then I'll come back and see how the dilution process is going. Now, liquid soap is not something that you do in 3 hours and you're done. It's something that's kind of a process. It takes a while to, after you cook it, dilute it. Unless you stay with it and you're constantly doing it, it can scan over 2 or 3 days. Just depending, and that's just how I do it, because I don't let it consume me. I just kind of do it, wrap it, leave it, and then come back and check it. And if I need more water, I add it, and then I just leave it again. So it's just a continual process. But I'm gonna leave that on low for maybe another hour or 2, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. Most of the soap has been dissolved, but there is a little thin layer on top, and the bottom's nice and dissolved. There's nothing left in there. What I could do is go ahead and dip this top part off, which I think is what I'm going to do. It will make it go quicker. That way I can just go ahead and cool this down and go ahead and put this away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip off the soap that's not dissolved on the top, just for the sake of the video, and I can go ahead and finish this. And I'm just going to put it in a jar. And then what I do, and I've done this before, what I'll do is I will put some water on top of it and just let it sit. And by tomorrow it will be nice and melted. And then I'll pour it in with the rest of it. As you can see, I'm just kind of dipping. And there's some bubbles too, because it was kind of bubbling while it was cooking. And it's supposed to be just dissolving, but I'm getting some of the soap, the liquid soap with it. That's okay, because like I said, once I dissolve this with some water. Okay, I thought I had pressed record while I was doing that, and I came over to turn it off, and I didn't press record. But I'll walk you back through what I did. I came and I checked on the soap. I still had some blobs on the top. So what I did is I took a spoon and I dipped them off and I put them in here. You can see the blobs here. And then I poured some water in on top of it, and I'm just going to let this melt. I could keep adding more water to that, but I'm really ready to start cooling that down so that I can pour it into a jar. And so I just went ahead and put the water in here. I'm going to leave that sitting there. I'll give it a quick stir every once in a while as I'm in here working. And I'm going to let this soap here cool down. And when this is ready, I'll pour it back in. And then this will be cool. Okay, I'm back. The soap has cooled down, and I was able to get most of it to dissolve into the water, and I dumped it back in. But I do have this light film. It's like the bubbles, and they won't really mix in. But I'm going to put some water on top of this and just leave this sitting, and I'll let the children take a bath with it or something, rather than put it back into the container, since it looks a little different. Now, I may not have got it all off, but I think I got the majority of it. It is thinner, but as it sits, it will thicken up some more. And I don't usually use these soaps right away. I usually am using a different soap, and they usually end up sitting for 2 or 3 weeks before I use it. Just like the shampoo, the liquid shampoo that I made a couple weeks ago hasn't been used yet, because I'm finishing up the other shampoo, and then so it'll probably sit there 4 weeks before I ever use it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I have it on a gallon jar. I usually use the half-gallon jars, but I don't think that's going to fit in a half-gallon jar, and I don't really want to use 2 for this. So I'm going to pour it up in here. I'm using this because it makes it easier for me not to spill it, and I'm going to see if I can strain any more of the little bubble things out of there. I'm thinking that the reason I get this is because I'm using 10% of the sodium hydroxide, which is for bar soap. And I'm thinking that, because I get it every time I do that. And I'm thinking that's what's going on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's still soap. It's just like a sudsy soap, but the suds won't go away. The little bubbles just stay there. So, anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to see if I can, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to see if I can pour this in without spilling it. And I'm going to get this out of the way. And as you can see, those, the little towel, the old towels that I don't throw away really come in handy. Because I'm using them all the time in here. And I don't have to worry about messing up my good towels. Alright, so I'm going to carefully pour it. And as I'm pouring, I'm thinking I'm seeing some little blobs, and I'm hoping you can see this. I probably had the pot right in the way. Little blobs like coming through. But maybe it's just the way it's pouring out. I'm not sure. Okay. And like I said, this is, I'm not really sure what my plans are for this. I wanted it as just a good lard, maybe body wash, not for hair because I have my shampoo that I use for my hair, but maybe a body wash. I don't know, maybe even, probably not a bubble bath because of the lard it probably won't bubble much, but I did add castor and coconut oil, so we'll have to see. And it could be just a good combination soap. For shower, bath. I'm thinking it's going to be more of like a shower gel. And I can gel this up by using alcohol. Some rubbing alcohol in it. But I don't really like to do that, so I don't know. I may take a little bit of it and try it. And ooh, wow, I almost dropped it. Alright, so there, I got that cleaned out. And so you can see here, and I don't want to drip it everywhere, but you can see the little clobs in there. I say clobs, blobs, clobs of stuff. And so what I'm going to do is put them in a soap. It's just little tiny pieces of soap paste that haven't melted. But I'm also seeing some of those bubbles that were left. So I'll clean that out. And put that in there. This is what it looks like so far. Now it's got bubbles in it, so it's going to clear up. But it's got bubbles. You can actually, I don't know if you can actually see the bubbles in it, but that will clear out as it sits. But it's a nice amber color. And I want to see if I can show you kind of what it looks like. If I hold it up, maybe I can hold it up that high with the light. That's what it looks like. And like I said, it will clear up and I will have a nice clear. That's just from me pouring it. And I didn't put any fragrance oil or anything in it. I may do some coconut fragrance oil. I'm really not sure at this point, but we will wait and see. I'm going to bring you over to the sink so you can, let's just kind of see what kind of bubbles we get on this. Oh, sorry, I'm showing you the window. Okay, and let's put the pot in there. And I'm not sure, like I said, I've never done this one. I know that Lard soap does not have as many bubbles with the bar soap. It's creamy, but it's not real bubbly, real lather. It doesn't have a lot of lather, which is fine. But I'm not going to add to it. I'm just going to get some of this off the spoon. Kind of let's see what we have going on here. So there you see it. I have some nice lather going on there. Happy with that. And which that's not really my purpose in the soap. My purpose is to be moisturizing. So we will see how that is. And it's hard to tell like this. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these little bit of soap dishes that I have and throw them in here, and this is what I will use to wash them with. Rather than just put them down the drain, I will throw them in there and use that to wash it, and then when I rinse it out, the pot will be nice and clean. But I hope you have enjoyed the video of me making the soap. And I hope you will come back again soon, watch another video, give me a thumbs up. Please watch the ads. It does help me bring you more videos. And also give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'm really enjoying interacting with each one of you and answering your questions and hearing your stories about what you've made and the results that you've seen. And I will see you next time.